sure that would load properly.
All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Again, welcome to the Meeting Ghetto channel. I'm your host, Jamar. We're having a special Movember episode today. We're going to be talking about men's suicide. It's going to be a very, very deep topic. But before we get into the topic, introduce yourselves and where y'all from.
Hey, all right. Well, I'll take it first. Wait, am I not muted? Oh, okay. No, I'm not muted. All right, cool. I had to look. I saw I was muted right quick. I'm like, oh shit, did I get muted? All right. Anyway, my bad. The host of Love Journal and Man of Horror, your boy Troy Ryan. Yeah. What's up?
I'm Kendall from just outside of Philly. I'm a Twitch streamer, gamer, activist, um, all around type of guy trying to do my thing. You can follow me on twitch.tv/alphamortis, where this is also live, and Instagram is the same.
I'm Naya. You guys can follow me on Naya Instagram at Naya_Rose. And also, I don't know, I'm just out here living. That's it. And I'm from Chester.
I'm from Chester as well.
I'm technically from Detroit, but I live in Arizona, so
Arizona, where they have no daylight savings, guys. We're all doing it wrong.
Nah, but we change our time adjusting to everybody else and shit.
Damn.
Everything, for the most part, everything we do adjusts for y'all. Our times stay the same.
So it's not you, it's us, huh? But all right, let's get to it. So we're gonna pop off this list real quick. We're gonna be talking about reasons for men's suicide. We're gonna be talking about some other challenges when it comes. Let's say we're gonna be talking about health concerns when it comes to suicide. But first, with that being said, let's talk. We're gonna go from the least impactful to the most impactful reasons for suicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, one of them is traumatic experiences. One of the least most is a traumatic experience. For example, a veteran who experienced severe trauma during military service might struggle with PTSD, which could lead to suicidal thoughts. Have you ever experienced a veteran?
I mean, not with the suicide part. Let's say not with the suicide part, but like I've seen how they can act sometimes when they're genuinely traumatized after. Like there's one guy who couldn't handle loud noises, and like some kids used to play with it, mess with it because kids are fucking terrible, and like just bang on shit right quick just to fuck with him, and like the pure reaction, like the full traumatic memory, he like literally was reliving it in whatever those moments were. So I definitely can see that as a reason. But like I was gonna ask, is this like an official like list thing that you found or something?
Yeah, it's a list. I was going through some case studies and stuff during my university studies, and I just consolidated some data.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, so I'm not a veteran myself, but I do know that veterans are like some of the highest people predisposed towards suicidality, which like super sucks. Yeah, that's all I really like know as far as that facet goes.
I would say also too, they treat them like shit sometimes. Not always, but sometimes they go through hell when they come back, and it's like, damn, I fought for the country, and like now I'm not shit. Like,
yeah, on some real stuff. Going back to that, like 6 or 7 years ago, I was done the military, and I'm a Marine Corps vet. So I was done the military, and literally no one would hire me. There was no like jobs that would pay enough for me to even like really like exist in a good place in society. It was like starting over, but starting late.
Ooh.
And what they'll do too, if I like, let's say if I was gonna go like reserve, they would be like, "Well, we can't hire you because we needed to work weekends."
Oh, geez. Yep.
So it was so many times like many jobs just wouldn't take you.
Yeah, I had friends who back in my old job, I used to do like phone calls for funeral homes. A friend of mine was in like National Guard reserves, and she had drill like once a month. But she had to be gone for an entire weekend, and they couldn't keep her because of that. And it's like, really?
Yeah, so it creates so much instability in your life if you have those kind of things. You're trying to serve your country, and it's not really like right. But going Naya, I was going before we get to you. PTSD isn't just like, you know, from trauma from the military. I was going to go for, but it can also be for like the hood. You know what I'm saying? And I was reading a book by Rita Walker, and it was talking about it's the Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. It talks about suicide. Like, you ever see a teenager just constantly put themselves in danger?
Yep.
That's actually a form of suicide. So many Black young men actually go through suicide that way, from the PTSDs from and you know, the hood and the bad environment they're dealing with.
I feel that.
I never knew that. Honestly, I mean, I know. I guess you can say, you know, when you see kids do things bad, I'm still going to answer the other thing, but you'll say like, "What are you trying to do? Kill yourself?" Mainly boys, because y'all climb trees, y'all climb houses, y'all sit on a roof, y'all go across the train tracks, y'all just do stuff that just don't make sense. So it's like, yeah, it's
I
just
stay hurting myself falling off shit.
Climb a tree. Like, what goes in your mind that because every single one of y'all climbs a tree?
Hey, look, I to this day I climb trees. If I go to a park, I'm still climbing trees. Like I have like 7 people on a tree.
That look like a sturdy tree. I'm trying to climb up it. Like, what do y'all think?
Yeah, there's something like
yeah, it's an adventure feel, maybe, like, or just I don't know what it is. But
if you go back into like the biological evolutionary stuff, it's super common for like young boys, especially like if you go with them a shovel, we're digging a hole. Like, we're going to dig a hole. If we see a tree that we want to climb, we're going to climb the tree. It's just something that fulfills like a really like almost ancient primal need. Yeah, walking even if you're like on a sidewalk and there's like that narrow part of the sidewalk that's right before the street, we're walking on that part of the sidewalk. Like, it's just fun to like balance.
I think that coupled with like PTSD and stuff in the hood just really makes a very tragic situation. Because I remember growing up, I've seen so many of my friends who like had like bad families or been in drive-bys. I actually been in a drive-by before.
Okay.
And like I remember for so many I mean on the receiving side as like a 10-year-old.
No, that was deep. No, that's fine. That was just deep. Like shit.
And what it really, how I got past it, because I didn't know about therapy. I didn't know about any of the stuff that could actually help me. So I literally at 10 years old, I had to come to the fact that either every time a car stopped for like a month, I would literally stop behind another car because I was like tweaking.
I understand.
So this is at 10.
Yeah.
And I had to come to the fact, like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. So I like literally gave up like my attachment to life at like 10.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna try to dodge it. So I wanted to go back to when you were speaking about, I'm sorry for your experience that you had, and that's crazy. And I wanted to go back to the veterinarian thing. I used to work at, I'm not gonna say what homeless shelter, but I used to work at a homeless shelter, and majority of our population was veterans, you know, and they do suffer the most with PTSD. You know, they see a lot, you know, and some people can't take it, so they try to go like, either they go AWOL or they try to pretend like they're crazy to get out of it because they don't want to be like other people. And it's a messed up thing. And I honestly feel like the United States, they push, you know, Navy, Army, all these different things, you know, fight for our country down people's throat. As soon as you're in high school, ROTC. I'm not dishing ROTC. Yeah, they got nice bodies and all that. And they're athletic, they're looking good. But what I'm basically saying, other than that, they push that down people's throats, but they don't talk about the aftermath when it comes to, you know, fighting for this country, because they do treat people like crap, you know, and you can't get jobs. And maybe they think like, I ain't letting this mother effer come on this job, and he
don't let you lose a limb.
One minute you inside your cubicle, the next minute he fit crawling, think it's grenades around. Like, they probably think like that. Like, 1 minute you'll be okay, then the next minute you may start, you know, stopping, dropping, and rolling and just doing some things. Maybe they think like
Iraq or some shit.
Fair. Yeah, it's not fair. So I do see that I was just talking about that today during orientation, that most of our clients, because I'm not gonna tell you where I work at, but a lot of our clients are, you know, veterans. So basically, you know, they really be the ones that get treated the worst. It's like they really needed help. But now that they don't have, like, you know, mental hospitals no more, I mean, they have rare ones. You only can station up, I think, for 72 hours. It's really rare to find a mental institution. They had so many of them the funding. Nobody wanted to fund it anymore, so they shut
But
them
people was
down.
also doing fucked up shit at some of them too, which is like that's kind of been a known thing forever since those motherfuckers started. Like, you know,
You said like they were being mistreated.
yeah.
Like asylums don't exist anymore. It's like you can go to
Yeah.
a mental hospital, but like traditional asylums have been like something that don't exist for
I think
like
it's
40 or 50
Yeah.
years.
I think it's like a few, but it's some type of asylum hospitals where you can you know, go in there, but it's really rare. Like they don't fund it, the government don't fund it, no one wants to put money in it. They rather put money in jail. Jail is quicker, you know, and
Of course.
you know.
Oh, it's free labor. Free labor is like one
Yeah.
of the number one things.
So yeah, let's just put them in jail and then just keep putting them on SAG and you know, decide where they're segregated because they're just crazy, not giving them the proper help. So yeah.
I want to hop right quick back on the hood part right quick. Just because I think, and I was actually having this conversation like yesterday, just about like how Black people are kind of always forced to, or not necessarily forced, but we just kind of reach this point where we take really bad shit and just either block it out or turn it into something else. And so like for me, like I've seen a man be shot, like literally killed. You know what I'm saying? I've been there when my dad's been shot before. Like I come from a family of gun users and shit like that, and it was like as a kid, you're not thinking about it. You're just in that moment. You know what I'm saying? You go, you kind of block it out, and you're like, wait, that was kind of fucked up. That was some fucked up shit. I mean, now I'm able to change it into something else because I write a lot and stuff like that. So I use a lot of those experiences. But some people can't do that. Some people don't have the introspective ability to just kind of really look and be like, huh, how did this thing that I went through or I saw affected me? It's like, oh, it don't. A lot. And that's, I think, what we do a lot of times, especially growing up, you know what I'm saying, from somewhere like the hood and shit like that. And just like, you internalize it and you just keep it moving until you get away from it. And everybody don't get away from it.
Exactly. No, and not everybody get away from you. Face it eventually.
Well, I just mean the area too. Like the actual fucking hood. Like not everybody get out.
Let's move on like the physical health problems too. So like physical health problems is a leading thing, the cause of suicide too, because of painful illnesses. You know what I mean? Like they just off themselves.
Yeah. Gay community and AIDS.
Is that really
HIV,
a thing?
like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if
No, I don't mean like I'm not saying like gay people don't.
Probably not as common anymore, but it
that's what I was gonna say. I don't think it's as common anymore. Honestly, I feel like people accept it maybe better, but I wouldn't claim to fully know because I don't have it. But but at some point, and I think even now, sometimes just even outside of that, people can be really self-destructive, especially once they know they have some kind of illness, just like rushing to. And I know, again, just with like what I've seen in the gay community, sometimes some people can just like, it's like, well, fuck it, and just turn to like deeper drugs. Like you were smoking weed first, and now you like on some heroin and shit like that, just saying fuck it because you found out you were sick. Which again, I don't claim to understand the mindset of the pain that you might be going through or whatever the case is, but it's also like shit. That's kind of deep. I think actually I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, I know a few people who deal with like chronic illnesses and stuff, and like
Yeah.
their suicidality is like way higher, primarily because it's like if you're in emotional anguish, that's one thing that leads to like increased suicide rates. But if your body is always hurting, you're always going through something different, you're always going to doctor's appointments, you're always getting checkups, like that alone can contribute to like your mental health deteriorating too. So it makes sense for it all to like kind of coalesce into higher suicide rates.
Yeah.
Because also not everybody, I'm learning that too. It's a shitty thing. And it's not to say that everything is sunshine and rainbows, but some people genuinely don't know how to be like on the upside. Like I don't know. Like it's hard to say, but like, and it's not to say I'm always positive because I
mean like people don't see a way out?
But like people don't know how to. Yeah, I guess that, but it's more so just people don't know how to be happy. I guess really. And
you know what's crazy about like that statement? People don't know how to be happy. I'm reading a book called what's it called? The Art of Creating Happy Memories, and it's gone like to the science of how memories are created. And you're literally right by saying that, saying people don't know how to be happy. So what happens with depression? They found out that many people who are depressed, they have trouble recalling any happy memories in their life. So the power to
So I'm
recall
thinking of the bad
memories,
ones.
you just focus on the bad memories, and you literally don't know how to be happy.
Yeah, depression literally gives you like memory loss issues, which is like one of the least talked about symptoms from it, I think.
Yeah. And memory is what can actually, good memories, like you talked about, like things like the first ones are like one of the in nostalgia are some of the most beneficial memories that can actually get you out of things like depression. And just literally, they have like therapy that just literally makes you remember good things to train your body, your mind, how to be like, nigga, I'm okay.
But I think that could be dangerous too, because if you live too much in that, you can also trick your mind to want those things back, and that happened. It's like
Yeah, the
happened
pendulum will
again,
swing the other way, but
So it's like
it's
there has
it's
to
about the balance.
be
Sounds like a good horror movie to me.
Okay. Hey, don't get me started writing. But I was just gonna say too, with the happy part, it's like you gotta find, and not even just that deep. It's just like everyday shit, like a show that actually makes you happy, that you can lose yourself in, a snack. You know what I'm saying? A person that you can talk to. Like, people don't find those everyday little things. It doesn't have to be something major. You fucking found 10 cent. Oh shit, I found 10 cent. Like, you ain't gotta fucking throw a party for yourself, but acknowledge that as like a lucky thing, or just some kind of happy moment or something. Just, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I
for the people
definitely
who
get
are
what
just
you're saying.
always yeah.
I think one thing like people get so sad, or they don't they focus on the negative side on, and it's a physical health problem, is like obesity. I've seen a man die from obesity, and I think that's one of the hardest ones to get over sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen my brother's dad, rest his soul. He passed away like a year ago. And like from obesity. So he got to the point where he got so big, he was like, no one wants me. I'm not worth anything. And I'm just going to eat from I'm going to die from eating. And it got worse and worse and worse. It was so bad that the cops couldn't even arrest him. That's how fat he was. So the cops would call my brother to come pick him up because he couldn't fit in any cop car.
Yeah, that's the one of the things we had to deal with when I was like taking phone calls for funeral homes. If someone was like too large, they had to call like the fire department to get like special equipment to carry them out, because the funeral homes didn't have like the right equipment to lift someone who literally needed like levers and pulleys to get taken out of the crib.
So do they put them in like a ambulance?
If they can get them into one, yeah, but they have to use like specialized equipment to even get them like out of the bed, out of the home, down onto the street, into whatever vehicle they're using for transport. You're not like getting transported on a fire truck, but the fire department's tools are necessary to like get you out.
It's literally like people are like 500 pounds, bro. I didn't realize how deep that 500 pounds
No,
was.
listen, there is the show, My 600-Pound Life. I was gonna say, I don't know if he maybe saw that show, but that's not always true. Cause I swear to fucking God, and that show was like 13
they was in the
seasons
van.
half
in the van.
Yeah, half of the time they'd be married and shit. If not most, I would say like 70 to 80%. And I low key feel like
I don't know if it would be
the
that
world is
high.
chubby shit. Oh, watch that fucking shit. Have you seen
No. So that's what I mean is like,
I don't
if
know.
we,
I was gonna say like the real life thing, but I honestly feel like the world is low key chubby chasers, because, like, in my own experience, I had like more, for lack of a better term. No, you know what? I'm older now. I've had more prospects when I was a bigger boy in my life than like when I got smaller, and I got like way more attractive, and it was just like, I don't know, it was weird, and I was like, you know what? And then I started paying attention. I'm like, I think people are chubby chasers, but not like.
So I think it's a little different.
Not out loud.
What like leads to that
Like
happening is, more than anything, people thinking that larger people will have lower standards.
I think that's it too. I was thinking
like
that.
If you go to a club,
nice amount of them
not everyone's going
met.
after like the slim, like supermodel looking girls. The guys that are left at the end of the night who haven't found somebody, they're looking for someone who seems desperate, and it's almost always going to be them, like you said, chubby chasing. That's not to say like larger people don't have merits of their own, but you ain't never heard the term chubby chaser before?
No.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I mean, it's
I know
now.
It is, but nobody never labeled it. I just knew like, all right, I knew why a person would be going after. I'm not saying that there's not.
It's like the term "more cushion for the pushing." That's what I came from.
Yeah, if you talk to bigger people, they can get into like committed relationships, but
Uh-huh.
more often than not on like dating apps and stuff like that, it's just someone looking to get laid, use them, and then move on.
Mhm.
These aren't
You know
people
what's
looking to
crazy?
actually commit.
But
to
There's a
something.
lot of
there's
big
some
Jones
good
on,
looking
on Hinge.
There are good looking big people. That's not deniable.
You know, I like them thick sometimes. You know what I mean? Well, this is not what this conversation is about. All right, guys.
Oh, so yeah,
We
I was
always
about to
end
say
up on
so.
dating
You know,
apps.
we gonna border on a little trash. Let's hop back on cue.
we can have a conversation. That's a whole episode. Do you like them thick? We just show like, damn, that guy or that girl is thick.
Before we do move on, I want to clarify that like larger people do have a lot of societal issues and stuff that affect them in ways differently than we can understand as like healthier or not even healthier, but like skinnier people. And dating is
I'll
definitely one
say,
of them.
Man,
I'll
I'll
say I
let y'all
did have
know.
some of my own.
I used to be obese.
Me too. I'm obese right now for my
I
I
height.
used to be 280 pounds. I grew up obese with PTSD and low confidence.
Damn.
250.
Oh, sorry. Really?
She said that.
Capped at like
I was like,
180.
wait, am I
I can't
250
speak.
or his shit? Like,
No, I was saying damn to him, but
yeah, I know.
there's a lot going on. But no, I feel like I was just telling Kendall this the other day. Like, obesity. Sometimes I feel like, you don't always have to look obese to not be obese.
Mhm.
Like for my height, I'm borderline obesity, American standard, but I really feel fat as shit. Like
So
yesterday,
that's the bullshit standard.
no, listen, yesterday I could not feel my stomach because I keep overeating because I'm so stressed. And like, it really does a lot to your mental, and it really does a lot to your sleep. I sleep all day, and it's just like, I may not look really, really obese, but I have the same attributes and the same characteristics that a bigger person may have. Like, I'm out of breath, I'm heavy, I feel heavy, and like, it's a real thing. You get what I'm saying? It's really a real thing. Like, it is. It's definitely. And then that's why I said my skin.
I remember my days.
No, but I was bigger than this before. Like, I looked like big. I remember this one picture I was sitting on Santa Claus' lap. I wish I could pull it up on here. And I really looked like,
Was he straining?
I looked like
Y'all dirty for that.
Big Worm. What did he say? I looked at like Big
Oh
Worm.
no, it's fine. I have my pictures, my big boy pictures.
I
My
was
friends
really
be looking at me
fat,
now
like,
like, nigga, that's you? Yeah. Well, I think college was when I was the biggest because I went.
What
It
y'all
was
say
at
about
freshman
Santa?
15.
What did y'all say about
He said,
and I sat on his lap?
Yeah, like what did his face look like? Was he like?
He said, "Was he straining?"
no.
I don't know. When I find a picture, I'm gonna send it in here. But no, I'm gonna scribble. I'm gonna put my thumb over my face, and just so you can look at Santa only. I don't need to look at nothing else. That's embarrassing.
See, life, like I said, life can met you fast. I gained a freshman 30, and that was the largest I was, and it took some years post college to get to where. Well, shit, probably the last 2 years to get to where I am now. But
and I also wanted to say
do
this
some
one
shit to
thing.
your mind too.
I think Kendall basically, well, no one really said, no, I think Jamar actually said it. Like, I did want to clear the air that we're not saying big people are unattractive. People are sensitive.
Oh, yeah, no.
We're not saying the ones not big. And I was messing with a couple of big guys. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But that don't mean because you're big, you're ugly. We're just saying that it's unhealthy. It's just not healthy. It's not
big boy. Oh, big
I'm also
boy.
not saying that. Like, there are a lot of bigger people who probably could run circles around me very, very easily.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? They can do way more than I can.
I don't lie. So one time, story time. I was running this, so I just messed my leg up. Right. I had to train for a 5K. I was on the person I was with at the moment. I was like, "Yo, let's do a 5K." And we finally run the 5K, right? I'm running. I'm in my last half a mile. This really, really voluptuous woman is running ahead of me. And I was so tired, and I seen how voluptuous she was and how fast she was running compared to me. So I said, I can't lose to a voluptuous woman.
Don't say that word again.
Helped me run faster for motivation, and I beat her. Because I said, swear to God, if I didn't win.
Like,
all I have to say is, like, she really dusted. She was faster than probably 2/3 the whole race, and she looked like she could be at least like 280 in like
That's
Wow.
also a misconception that big people aren't fucking athletic and shit. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy. She was
Right.
hogging. I was like, God damn. And she was consistent the whole time. It was actually really motivating. But I couldn't
shoot, I was
lose
a
to
big
her,
boy
so that's how
dancer.
motivated I was.
Oh, you did.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
And a
but let's
dancer.
move on to the
Big
next
boy
one, right?
dancer.
Because let's say obesity, age, divorce, you know, just lack of good friends can lead to social isolation.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Social isolation can lead to suicide as well. Anybody ever been like really socially isolated to the point where you're like, yo, I don't really think I have no validation of my worth, or I don't even think anyone likes me, so why live? Not exactly that, but
Well,
Okay, shit.
semi, yes. I have dealt with that type of stuff and had isolated myself, and I had literally nobody, and it kind of you do get those suicidal thoughts. You get what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
feel like you don't have anybody, by yourself, I'm alone. You feel rejected. You feel like it's a lot of different things. Like mental health is a real thing, like literally. So yeah,
No,
I've been in
actually,
that
yeah.
state, different states of suicide. Like not just because I feel alone, I don't got nobody. It could be different things. When your money low, you feel like like damn, I ain't got nothing. I'm a
Real
failure.
worthless.
Yeah, you
you know what's
start feeling
crazy?
like that.
That's
So,
how a lot of men feel. Like, damn, I ain't got no
oh yeah.
money. So when you said you was stressed and you was overeating, I was jealous because when I'm stressed, I'm broke usually and I can't afford to eat.
Yeah. And this bitch eating fucking
I was like,
crackers.
damn,
I
suffering
am
from success over here.
Right.
normally
that.
when I'm stressed, I won't eat, but this time I wouldn't stop eating. It was like, damn, I'm finding comfort in food, and it was like the shit was good. And then one day I
Yeah, that's
looked
one of my things.
yeah,
So,
mine has always been I don't got no appetite. This year it was I got an appetite, and it's like, damn, big face.
Damn.
I stay in the kitchen. When I'm going through some shit, I'm in
But
that motherfucker.
what do you
It's like,
do?
it's
do you
not even
walk,
knowing what I want.
run?
I
So
dance, I walk, I'll do all that.
See, I wasn't doing nothing but literally eating and sitting down. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say real quick, you did. So I did feel like that before.
I want to dance.
One time it wasn't as intense. Oh, you wasn't? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I said I
No,
want
she
to dance.
said I want to dance.
Oh, I thought you was. I thought you said I wasn't done. I was like, oh my bad. Oh shit. No. So the rejection part, because you brought up rejection, and I was like, that was like the trigger for me, like to really like go over the edge. Like I was going through a lot of other shit, but then I went through a situation with a person that I had feelings for and was dealing with, ended up having feelings for my best friend, and then that just like
Yikes.
yeah, and it was a whole thing where, and I told I said it's okay, lying to myself saying it was something I could handle, and it wasn't, and it just crushed me. You know what I'm saying? And I really was just like, I want to fucking die. I don't want to be here. This is the worst thing ever. Please take me away. And so yeah, so I have been there, and I isolated myself, or like what I didn't. So there was another time, and it was when I first moved here. It was just Detroit and Arizona are very different, and I just kind of was very isolated when I first was here because it was just different and weird. But with the other situation, I didn't isolate. I stayed around people, but I was very reserved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's constantly around people. Anybody that had a blunt, anybody that had something to drink, what's up? I'm hanging out. I don't give a fuck who you are, where you at. Oh, we smoking, we drinking.
I
Let's go.
literally been in this. Yo, this is literally crazy. I'm saying it's crazy because I'm actually dealing with that, but I dealt with that worse before, like in breakups and relationships. It's like, you know what? It's not like you can't feel like you can't live without that person. It's just so much that you feel like you really hurt me, and I would have never hurt you like that, and I would have never did this to you, and you went about it the wrong way. And then that's when you start feeling like worthless. And it's like, what can I have done better? Then you start asking yourself, and then you start seeing the things you could have done better.
That was my thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and it gets bad. I've been through the drinking, the partying stage. I've been through all those different stages and different. I'm not saying I was in a brilliant relationship.
Fuck it.
I just want to party. I'm trying to
drink.
I just want to numb this out. Like sometimes you want to numb. Some people cut. Some people drink. Some people get high. Some people have sex a lot. Some people do different things to like get by. Like so, I've been there where
Eat food. Yeah,
I literally wrote down
it's just
my
excess.
the other day. Like I wrote down I'm like, what triggers me? And some of those things, and one of the first thing I think is abandonment or rejection. Like sometimes you gotta really figure out your triggers because your triggers will put you in a state of a spiral of suicidal thoughts. You get what I'm saying?
I got a question about your
Yeah.
abandonment. Do you ever feel like you detach from people because you're scared they're gonna abandon you?
Of course I have. I've kind of done it. Or sometimes I cling to people because I don't want them to leave me. I do more
That's
clinging
me.
than actually like pulling away. This stage in my life right now, I feel like I pulled away because I'm embarrassed of how things went with my breakup, and the things went with things financially with me. I had so many things. I went through a breakup in March. I had to graduate and get ready in April. May came graduation. I had to move here in April. I had so much stuff going on. I was like, I have to detach from people because this is like too much for me. Like, you know how they say you get overstimulated, and I got that. But no, I'm clingy. I'm clingy. And then when I don't feel like being bothered, I don't feel like being bothered. But I'm extremely clingy.
Oh yeah. When
I identify as the king of self-isolation. I'm so good at intentionally like damaging my own life to push people out of it. It's like, and then as far as like suicidality, like that alone is something I've dealt with literally since I was old enough to even contemplate death. I've always wondered about not existing, which isn't the same as like killing yourself, but like the blanket idea of wanting to like vanish for a little bit and then having that be like for an indefinite amount of time. That's something I've always more or less dealt with since I was probably like 6 or 7 years old.
I think from my experience, like social isolation was the last stage of me going through like stages of like depression. I would be like, well, if I'm not there, they wouldn't care if I detach myself. You know what I mean?
I didn't get the invite.
Yeah.
Right. Or should it be better without me? Like,
but then, and then you feel
cool
like,
without me.
although we do that too, something for myself, although I may remove myself from people because people ask me questions and I don't feel like telling the truth. I just want to come over. I don't want to think about my problems. I don't want you to ask about bills. I don't want you. Why are we talking about how my bills get paid at events? Why are you worried about if you're not paying?
People have terrible timing.
What about that Comcast internet bill you haven't paid in 2 months?
I'm hanging up. Like no. I literally, I need to pay my cable bill on the 23rd. But anyway, so the Wi-Fi. But no, like sometimes you just want to go and escape. I don't want to go and talk about, and people don't intentionally do it. Like, oh, where's such and such at? Now you crying like, bro, like if he ain't right here with me, don't ask. If I ain't bring this person up, don't ask. I don't feel like talking about that. I'm trying to come here, have fun, drink, okay? Forget about tonight and go home to, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you want those things, but the things that we choose to do during our times of, our suicidal rants, depression, anxiety, all those different things that's going on. Like, we choose to do the worst things to ourselves. We make our things worse for ourselves. Like Kendall said, he does worse things and it pushes people away. And it's like, we making it harder on ourselves, So, but sometimes you just don't know how to cope. So I don't want people who's going to watch this to feel like they'll go party, go drink, go use the drugs, go have sex, go strip, go prostitute. We ain't saying that. We're not pushing that. I prefer for people to do more self-love stuff. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh yeah. Getting older. And be more introspective. But I mean, I'm an advocate for experience.
You used to be a thought out there. I was
gonna say I'm an advocate for experience. So maybe sometimes you need to go ahead and
get your experience.
Maybe tonight you need to fuck it away. Maybe you need to smoke it away tonight. Don't get lost
and make bad choices and wake up pregnant. Go ahead, listen to Troy.
I mean, no. Okay, so right. I mean, but if you do, goddamn it, the baby's supposed to be here. Shit.
If you blocked her before she calls you about the baby, you never had.
That's like what movie was that? He woke up and he had a baby.
Damn.
Hangover? Not Hangover. Was it Hangover? What's the movie they was drinking?
Yeah, it was Hangover, I think.
Oh yeah. I don't want a night like that.
Oof, don't beat me up. I haven't seen the Hangover movie.
I mean, every now and then.
I don't like comedy movies. Honestly.
Okay. Are you okay?
So like
they're just so, I don't know what it, like I like dark comedy movies like The Wolf of Wall Street. That's funny as hell to me, and then the movie itself is like super good. But like I'm not watching a movie to,
you you don't like slapstick comedy.
I hate slapstick. I might be Batman.
Yeah, I think you might be Batman.
I still have my mom, so I'm not fully there yet.
I don't like comedy.
Once she passes away, we'll see. But
Interesting.
for me,
Okay.
it's like I really like deep, thought-provoking movies that have themes that people go through. And for me, comedy seems like a way for to like cope with things. So I'm like okay with like stand up, but crafting a story that's like exclusively meant to just like make people laugh, that's never been something I've like ever been interested in really.
Yeah,
Like
you have,
Adam Sandler, I don't know how people do it.
that's my favorite
His
actor.
shit, yes.
I love
His
him. Like,
comedy doesn't work nowadays. Like I think
I
comedy
still
has
love
an
him.
age
I love him.
in an era. Some comedy isn't always timeless. And like for me, Scary Movie is timeless.
Yeah, parodies. I like parody stuff. Parody
yeah,
stuff is cool.
parody shit is good. But
Satire is
like,
okay, but slapstick or anything like in that realm is just not even remotely funny to me.
Yeah, I get it. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, you gotta break. Yeah, you had to break that down. You can't just come out of nowhere and say I don't like comedy movies.
Right.
It's like saying I don't like to
The
laugh.
math of them, if you name like 10, I probably would be like, No.
All right, let's move
That's
on
cool,
to
that's
this
cool.
next one. Economic stress. For example, a father who loses his job faces melting debt, maybe feel overwhelmed by financial despair and considers suicide as a way out. Honestly, I think this is the closest way I'll probably get in this modern day life to suicide, probably financially, man. I'm like, damn, I can't pay for shit.
You know what? Right now, where I'm at, I've been like going through literal ups and downs like the past like 2.5 years after I like really just decided to pursue a lot of my dreams and stuff like that. So life kind of been happening, and it's just like if that's not the thing that's gonna get me there, it'll be not getting to where I've been planning to, and like and it'll have to be, I guess. No, fuck that. It has to be exactly the dream that I've been working towards. So like that's more so what'll get me to that point. Like if I look up in 20 years or 25 years, I'm 65 and I'm in the same space or something like that. Like it'll be a mix of age and being in the same financial spot within a decade plus when I'm working towards something else. So it won't necessarily be the funds itself. It'll be like where I'm at, if that makes sense. But I was gonna say one thing. I don't know if I've been hearing it recently, and then I had a moment where I was going through it. It's like men can be mean when we're broke.
I know I am.
And we don't even think that we are, but we can be really fucking mean when we're broke. And I had to catch myself because my mouth just was like snapping. Like I've always had a fucking snappy mouth. Like, but when I was going through like a mental financial moment or whatever, it was just like I was just mean as hell and like rude.
What's the meanest thing you
I
said?
wasn't even hearing
What
it.
is the meanest thing you said?
Oh, the meanest shit I said was when I was a kid. I don't even recall recently.
I mean, when you was
but I
broke.
can always say, I don't know.
I think the meanest thing I said.
I want to remember that shit.
I said something really mean. I was really going through some stuff. I just paid like $800 in tires. Somebody hit my car and broke my back trunk window. It was just my job pissed me off. It was a lot. Girl walks into the bar, the bartender, and she starts spraying herself with perfume, and I was like, "Hey, listen, that's not going to make you look any better."
That's the worst thing you've said.
Also, I think the worst thing I said, I did tell somebody. Somebody was like, when on the story of suicide, that's when I took suicide a lot more seriously. It was during the Marines, right? And one guy from Jamaica, I remember him like it's yesterday. This is when I learned to watch what I say. And he said, "Man, I just want to kill myself." And I said, "Well, go unlive yourself." And and then
were you saying unalive before TikTok?
Yeah, I wanted to say that. I'm gonna not make myself look like a monster. Like when I was 19, I was a 19-year-old monster. I told him to go harm himself.
Shit, man, that was par for the fucking course for me when I was playing. I still play video games to this day, but video game people are toxic. Especially League of Legends players.
Xbox chat rooms. I literally had to watch this guy though, Kendall. I had to watch this guy for 2 weeks, day and night, to make sure he didn't do anything.
That would be on my conscience too.
Yeah. But that's a good spin for it. You play some of these video games online. Now that you get banned,
you gotta see these motherfuckers yourself, no more.
Now it goes to fucking it's like I heard Home Depot has a sale on ropes. Like they get creative with the shit now.
Yeah, that's terrible. I want to touch back on what you was talking about the men. I don't know. Troy said it, or one of y'all just said it.
Did I mean
We
when they
mean-
broke?
Like
Yeah, we mean
it's
this fucking
so bad. Like I have definitely experienced that. Even with my father. Not that my father loved me to life. Like he loves me so much, but he used to be very irritated and impatient because he couldn't be able to provide. Now he can, but he wasn't able to provide the way he wanted to. And it's like, damn, how can your daughter come to you as a man, right? And then you have to turn her down. That makes a man feel like, damn, I can't even, I want to, especially when you want to do it and you can't, versus a man like, I ain't gonna go ask your mom.
Don't give a fuck.
And I just feel like even in relationships, I have experienced when niggas' money was tight, and it's like they mad at me. How you gonna be mad at me, or y'all try to start an argument so y'all can leave the house because y'all really don't want money, or y'all frustrated?
If you want to go to the movies, man, fuck the movies.
Just like here's a movie. Fuck you.
I heard you said you wanted to watch a comedy. Nah, but that all circles back to like hurt people. If you're in a financial situation where you feel super insecure, like say your job's not working out, you don't know who you are, and I'm guilty of this myself. It's really, really easy to take that out on like the nearest people surrounding you. If you're in a position where it's like, damn, I don't know who I am. I'm not making any decent money right now. I don't know what the hell my life is going to look like in the next like 4 months. You're gonna be.
That's pretty much anyone's making under 50K. That's probably how they feel right now in this damn society.
So it's not even. I wouldn't even say like the income is what matters. It's the expenses. It's like what's going out. How much are you spending? How much do you have left for yourself?
Dude, food is expensive. Food is expensive. Rent is insane.
I don't even want to talk about that.
If you're not working like 60 hours nowadays, you can't even afford nice things and take a trip. It's bad. But like even like segue into like societal expectations, because that sounds like men who are going through like societal expectations. That's why we're mean. Like we really want to generally be there for people, but we can't, and we just feel so much pressure, so we don't feel like a man. And most men know this. If a man ain't useful or has a use, he might as well just fucking kill himself, because society doesn't give a fuck about him. When a woman said, they ask him, "Hey, are you okay?" But when a man said, they don't even ask you shit.
That goes more to it. I think men need to learn how to talk, because I think that's also the thing. Like just with the money and the societal thing overall, I think a lot of men don't know how to say, "I'm going through these money problems. This is fucking with me in the head. I feel." You know what I'm saying? I feel like I can't provide. I feel like this. Instead, it's like I said, fuck the movies. Bitch, why you trying to go to the motherfucking movies?
Right.
Your ass last week, you was sitting there with that nigga. Tell that nigga to take you to the, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's this whole thing because you touched the trigger. Now you know what I'm saying? Like now it's this whole trigger because you don't know how to just say,
express it. Yeah.
I'm fucked up right now. God damn, my pockets is low. This shit making me feel like, my mama needs some help and I gotta put, like just.
But we also have to recognize how futile that stuff feels. It feels very futile. Your friends aren't going to give you a job most of the time.
You ain't the only nigga in the world. I think
you're absolutely right though, Kendall. It does feel futile. Somebody was like, I told somebody one time I was depressed. He's like, yo, why didn't you call me? I was like, nigga, you don't even got you only got $10 to spare. What the fuck was you gonna do?
Yeah, for me personally, I know like 90% of my issues, if I were making 100K a year, I would not be like in the mental. It would be different. I would still deal with like certain like self-image issues, but none of it would be financial insecurity. And when you're dealing with financial insecurity or any level of instability that comes from like your income versus your expenses, like it's a different life to live. But like, oh, I'm going to go talk about this. You go talk about it. It's like, shit, I could have spent that like 20, 30 minutes, like getting overtime at the job, working more hours, something along those lines. So you would be able to make more money, but you're not doing that. You're trying to talk to a friend who can't help you out. So it doesn't feel like you're making any progress or actually doing anything. Yeah, you might feel related to.
I think it depends. Because I had a moment, but it was more so me not working towards the stuff that I knew I could work towards, if that makes sense. Like writing and like, I have my books out and just, going to like my acting classes and doing shit like that. So it's like, yeah, the time could be more productive, but it does help to still talk about it, to get it out. But then at that point, like, it's like I said earlier, like, fuck it away, drink it away, whatever. Like, yeah, get it out, express it, but don't get lost in that. Don't become the nigga that always sit there talking about, yeah, my pockets is low. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, maybe get that out and also pick the right person, because if you talk to the right person, that'll make you feel understood and heard. So you won't feel like you gotta fucking go talk to a million people about it.
That is a good point too, Trey. You talk to the right person. And if it is a societal thing,
Talk to the
let's
wrong
say
person. They say some fucked up shit. Make you
if
go
it is
home and feel
providing
worse
for
about
your girl,
yourself.
if your girl like is your girl and you like, yo, I'm really suffering, I need help, I'm overspending, y'all literally could make a plan together to get you both out of that situation. Like, bro, y'all
Some men
both
can't take
can't
help
really
from women
afford
though.
vacation. Why can't y'all afford
That's a problem.
vacation? You know what I mean? Why can't, if you're overspending on her, have you let her know that this out of your budget? How can we make you make more money? Like, what's up? Like, do you need education? Like, what's the plan? Or else you want to just
But
fake it till you die?
yeah, I agree. But with Troy, something that Troy did say again, that it's just a pretended thing, and I feel like men feel like they're made, like they're what makes them are is money, you know. So it's like when you think about man, you think about a provider, you think about money, you think about coins, you know, because men were supposed to be the providers, and also, I guess the man feel like without money they're nothing. Just like almost, I'm not saying women feel like this, but kind of sometimes with her hair ain't done up her nails and her feet. It's like, oh my God, I'm just hideous. I'm the ugliest person in the world. You know. So I guess like it's like if I can't provide, I'm worth nothing. And men feel like that. If I can't provide for myself, if I can't provide for anybody else, what's the point of living? And I feel like that's the why the male suicide rate is higher than female suicide rate, because I feel like men are not patient enough with themselves. You know, it's like okay, and then they're centered around the wrong people. You know, and that makes you feel like you're nothing if you don't have money. I've dealt with many broke niggas, and I have dealt with niggas who get money. You know, and it's like I'm going to treat them the same way. Like I'm not going to treat them no differently, because at the end of the day, like this just may be a space that you're in, you know, and I'm willing to, as a woman, to step up for my man if I had the necessities too. We're gonna rock this joint out, you know, and I have did that, and niggas was still mean just because they still broke. You taking care
Because at that point it's insecurity. Like
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
oh,
like,
I
I
don't
can't
even
have
think it's
her.
like brokenness. Like societal expectations is not always finance. Men like like have like they like the impact. As men, we like life projects, legacy projects that like make an impact in this world. And we just feel like we're not making an impact. That can get us down too. And I know women like to be what they call it. Women like to be admired. Men like to be of use, and you know what I mean? Like we like to be of use. We like to be the man. Like a better word.
I think like I said, I lost it though, but it was just basically about friends or like environment, and that's just another part too. Cause sometimes broke niggas hang out with broke niggas, and that's just it's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
stay
you
a
got
circle of
broke
broke
nigga
niggas.
problems, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's also a factor of like not necessarily saying, oh, go hang out with, you know what I'm saying, fuck your friends and like go find rich niggas. But like if there's no ambition in your circle to want better or anything like that, then that will rub off on you. And that's how you end up with the you know, the guys who can just say fuck it and just like stay in whatever and are probably low key depressed but won't talk about it and just sit in that space forever, you know? Because all their friends sit in that space and they all together. Bro,
yeah,
it's sad.
I get what
it's
you're
low-key
saying.
sad.
I get what you're saying too, Jamar. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's true that men. I can't speak for men, but from what I've seen and growing up in the house, I'm the only girl, and it just I have brothers, and I can see that like a man do want to have something to show for. You get what I'm saying? And they also want to be able to be
You like to
used.
compete.
Yeah, and they want to be able to be financially able to know like I got some money in my pocket just in case, you know, or being able to be relied on, like you said, you want to be relied on. You want people to need you. Shit, I want you to know that I need you too, you know. But you don't gotta be all mean. Then you know what I'm saying. So I don't know, but I guess that's sometimes how guys carry it. And we a lot of times men take things out on the people that are there for them and the closest ones to them. It's like you're going to get the end of this because the fact that you're the only one that's around, you're the only one that can actually deal with me doing this shit. So I'm gonna treat you mean, bro. Like that's backwards. I don't understand. So it's true. It's definitely true. But I don't feel like a lot of women, it's not that not having money does not. It's not that it don't bother us, because it definitely does bother us. But I don't think that we'd be like, I don't got no money to kill myself. We would be like, man, I gotta hurry up and find. I gotta go do some hair or something.
Well, yeah, you got to figure where that comes from, though. Like, historically speaking, like you said it yourself, guys are typically looked at as like the provider, the breadwinner, one bringing in the money so the wife can stay
It's
home,
part
take
of
care of the
our
kids.
identity.
Why
Yeah,
don't
it's
you
not.
decide to hustle,
It's
though?
not the same. Say it again.
Why won't you hustle? Like, I'm not saying sell drugs. I'm saying
Everybody got ambition.
Oh,
Hustle is
that's
ambition.
exactly where I was going.
okay.
If you like, for me, I hate working. I have a job
too.
that I
I
enjoy
hate
that
it.
makes me feel good. I love the work that I do. It's the most rewarding shit that I've ever done. But I still hate the idea of, well, 40 of my hours are like every week are occupied doing stuff that I don't necessarily like. It's not what I would rather be
It
doing.
really makes my stomach
So
hurt.
you have to do the job. You
agree.
have to go to work. Now it's if I call out to take a mental health day, I'm the only person paying all my bills right now. So I can't really do that. If I have like for me, like with the school I'm working at, since I work at a school now, Thanksgiving break is coming up. A lot of people are like, oh my God, yeah, Thanksgiving break, winter break for Christmas. And I'm just like, damn, that's no hours for the week. I don't want to have to feel like that, but it's just the state that you have to be in. With women, it's not a part of your identity to be the breadwinner. And it's even more recent that women are even seen like pursuing education and careers. Not that they didn't want to
Independent woman,
before, but now it's normal. Now it's like finally entering that sphere where women are like beating men in education. Women are starting to catch up to men in their careers. That creates a lot of like spaces for guys, particularly, especially traditional guys, who are like, okay, well, it used to be you get a paycheck, you get a wife, and then it's good. But now women have their own paycheck, they have their own crib, they have their own car, they have their own job. So a lot of dudes are just felt like, damn, what am I supposed to bring to the table? All I know is get a check, get a check, get a check, and that's not enough anymore. So there's a lot more to it than just hustle.
you
It's
don't feel
I'm
like
hustling, but she is too.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
that's good. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Or would y'all prefer that your significant other would stay at home and you guys provide for your significant other?
I mean,
And
honestly,
and let them do their own thing.
for me, I wish that every human being could do what they want to do with their time to make the money that they need to make. Like, I'm a big proponent for universal basic income. I don't think people should have to go like come out of pocket for rent. I don't think people should have to come out of pocket for like food, even aside from like getting like luxury foods or going out to eat.
I agree.
But it's really, really difficult to even imagine a future like that when we've been so bound to the idea that if you're not working a job, you have no intrinsic value of your own. For me, if I could provide for somebody and just say like, yeah, you're good, you don't have to work at all, that's great. But I would also like to be in the position of just not having to work in order to survive.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I'll just say I would prefer. I hate working too. Fuck jobs.
Me too.
Terrible idea. And like he was saying, you know, I do actually prefer everybody. I would hope, you know, people have things that they want to do outside of that. And so I would prefer my person has like a specific, you know, thing that they're working towards. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, just because that same, I guess, since this is my word of the night, ambition, it would be something that you kind of understand. You know what I'm saying? When I'm having my moments, you know, some weekends or whatever the case is, sometimes I'm really busy with different projects and shit like that. And it's like, you don't have to do exactly what I do, but if you have something that you're working towards, you understand like, oh shit, that, you know, you got this and this to do. Maybe I got this to do too. We got a busy weekend. Like, I would prefer that versus, and if you're like sick or some shit happens or you just can't at the moment, you're going through a moment, then yeah, that's fine. I'll totally, you know, be the person that brings the money in. But like, I just prefer you're doing something that you love, not even for monetary reasons, but that you're actually doing something for you anyway.
I understand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if it bring in money, then hey.
Right. Jamar, you taking care of your significant other?
I did the actions of taking care of my significant other before. I am a divorcee, for everyone to know. But to be honest, I think I would rather date someone who works or at least worked, who actually have their own ambition, even if it's not a traditional job. I want that person to have their own ambition. They want to actualize their own life, and they want to fulfill their own dreams, even if that's not a traditional job or career. But someone who has a hunger for more, because I just found out, just from living and dating, if someone's like growing and the other one's rotting, they're gonna resent each other. I've had so many times in the past when I'm dating a woman or women who weren't working on themselves, and when I used to say affirmations in the mirror, they used to be like, "Oh, why you gotta say affirmations in the mirror? Is it because I'm not good
Shut that
enough?
stupid shit up.
Is it do you want
Terrible.
like a better life? Like, would your life be better without me?" And it's just a lot of insecurity to deal with someone who's not growing. And when I'm not growing, that's when I'm more, vulnerable to get the negativity in my mind as well. So I understood. I didn't take it personal, but I'd
Yeah,
rather have someone who's
that's
growing in a way.
this is something that I literally had to like grow through myself in just the past few months. I had a very, very long relationship of like 8 years. My primary thing was like I couldn't understand like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to like work a job, I need to commute to work, I need to handle all these things. And then
Mhm.
I would look at my partner and I'm like, okay, you're doing like stuff that makes you feel fulfilled and like it's fun to you. But for me, it wasn't the you get to do that. There was a level of like envy of like, shit, I wish I could stay home and just fucking write poetry all day. I wish I could do that, but I don't have the privilege of doing that because I have to work. So I would look into that situation, and instead of like being glad she was doing whatever she was doing, like because she was doing stuff, it was like more creative things. She had the free time to do it. Then she had passive income from like assistance that was going on. But for me, it was just like nothing ever felt like enough because I was constantly looking from my own state of mind. I am not allowed or able to grow outside of doing the job I'm doing, which, mind you, was like I was working 6 days a week. And then it was like I was in the office 12 hours a day. Like that shit was killer. I was out of
I
the
get
crib
that
like
before.
60 hours a week. All I wanted to do was get home and write, get home and like play games, get home and like stream, do all that kind of stuff. And then like while she didn't have to work, I'm just like, what else are you doing to grow yourself? What else are you doing to improve your own life? And regardless of what she provided, regardless of the answer, none of that was ever enough because I felt like I was so restricted and within my own cage. I couldn't grow enough to actually be appreciative of the fact that she was able to do that while I was building for myself too. So that it creates a lot of issues when it's just like you said it's looking at someone and seeing them not growing. But if you feel like you're not growing and you project that onto the people in your life, it gets even worse.
Mm.
I've seen that up close with my parents. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable and it's kind of sad because it's like you want your like you should be happy, but it's like people go through their own shit, so it's like it's only you know what I'm saying, and if they're not, especially like because like you're able, I don't know if you're able to assess it at some point during the situation or after whatever the case is. Some people aren't ever able to really look at themselves like that.
Yeah, that's another situation I was in years ago too. Was I was working at like a supermarket doing like deli work, working like fucking what I think like 9.50 an hour. And then a friend of mine, he was in college and going through school, and I didn't really have that option at the time. He ended up getting like an internship that paid him like 75K a year. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck am I compared to like people like this who go through like 4 or 3, I think it was like 3.5 years of school at the time. He was getting ready for like graduation and landed that internship. And I'm just like, I've been doing this job for almost 2 years now, and I'm not even making like a subsistence living. Like I was living at home with my mom still. I'm like, there are people here in their 40s, 50s, 60s doing this job. I don't want to be that. And if I can't be more than that, what the fuck am I supposed to be? And then you don't see, like I was saying earlier, you don't see the way out for yourself. So that's where it's like, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna just leave at this point.
Comparing, that's I think
Yeah,
that's one of
comparison
the
is
I don't
the
know if
death of
that's
joy.
yeah, you can't like you got to look at your shit for you. I mean, it happens for everybody at different points. I think everybody gonna go through that point where you can't help but to look at somebody else's, accomplishments or whatever, and feel small or something. But like, and it's my favorite thing, individualism. You gotta like look at your story for your story because everybody's shit is different. Because even that's probably what you see, and they probably go home fucking sadder than you. You know what I'm saying? You just saw this fucking award or promotion they got, and they went home and they get abused, or you know what I'm saying? Like, not to say that's always the case, but it's always something different. And don't think more money means no problems. Yeah, financial issues probably go away, but more money, more problems. That's a very real thing. And I witnessed that from moving from Detroit to Arizona. I wasn't out here making fucking 75K or nothing near it, but I made more than my brothers and most of my like cousins and shit like that. And motherfuckers was looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I'm going through hell with it. Like, I'm just making a little bit more and going through hell. I can only imagine making, you know what I'm saying, that much and what problems those bring.
Yeah,
So
because you
it's
start to feel
comparing and it's feeling like
guilty from it too, making a lot of money, and everyone else is like lacking. You feel like, and you feel like you're
that's another
blessed,
part.
and then they be like, "Yo, can I borrow 200? I got you." And then a bunch of people borrow money from you, you just never get paid back, and it's a bad scene.
Our accomplishments too. You feel fucked up if you keep like
Yeah,
doing shit like in a way like, and you know what I'm saying, you almost don't want to advertise it or say like, hey, I'm doing this thing, here he go again, something else, because that's the thing. Some people, it's the opposite side, you know, like, yeah, I'm the person who's achieving these things or doing these things, but now I feel bad because I don't want to keep talking about it, but I'm excited because I'm doing this thing, but I can't talk about it now.
exactly. All right, we're gonna go on. We had a few more, but we're gonna go on the last one, right? Cultural and ethnic factors, right? For example, a man from a cultural background that stigmatizes mental health issues may avoid seeking help for depression, leading to an untreated condition that could escalate to suicidal thoughts.
Is there a question that follows this?
I was supposed to say,
Oh
what's
no,
that?
that's gonna be the last
Okay.
one we're gonna touch on. But
Okay.
for
Yeah.
have you ever like seen that before? I know it's most
Mhm.
likely a yes, especially in our culture. Someone that
Mhm.
stigmatizes mental health, we don't
I mean,
understand it.
technically, I kind of, when you said cultural, like, so I mean,
So let's say, for
I guess
instance, like
technically,
it's a neat way not to exclude everybody, or it's a neat way to be inclusive to different cultures. But speaking from being a black man, like I was just talking about the many ways to do suicide, and one of the biggest ways like people don't think about is drug use for suicide. People don't think about creating bad eating habits. Like if you know food is killing you, isn't that like a form of suicide? If you're putting yourself and your body in harm, you know what I mean, being aggressive with people that could hurt you, living like reckless. And man, if you just out here just living like crazy, you know what I mean? Or
mhm.
like trying to think, bro, if you know you got depression already, you're not taking your medicine, or you know you need medicines,
Oh yeah,
you're on risk anyway.
but black people don't like to get help. Uh, but that's kind of to slide into the cultural part of being black. I kind of struck like one of my issues too was my skin, not liking, like hating being dark skin, um, and like bleaching my skin. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to rather, because I still like to this day I don't even know if the bleach cream fucking worked. But for like a good year and a half, 2 years, I was fucking. You know what I'm saying? Summertime come around, I'm staying in the house most of the day until it's like starting to get dark. And I'm like, all right, cool, I ain't gotta dodge the fucking sun. You know, because it's like a very real thing. So it was like
Damn.
hating my skin, literal hate, and like it aided. It was kind of around the same time of me like going through like the stuff with the best friend and stuff like that. So again, it was like multiple issues, but that's another thing that I think, you know, black people go through. Being dark skinned, we don't acknowledge it a lot, but there's always like I was the dark skinned one out of my light skinned brothers. You know what I'm saying? Or the ones that hung out because my oldest brother's dark skinned, but he went around the same age as us. So we was the three motherfuckers hanging out, and they light skinned with braids, and here I am, fat dark skinned boy, and it was with my short hair, and it was just like something I could never like get away from because the motherfucker was always gonna remind me. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a girl say, "Damn, what happened to you? Those your brothers?" And I'm like, "Bitch, ain't nothing happened to me." You know. And as a kid, teenager, and all that shit will make you like hate yourself.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had to grow to like love. Like now, my fucking skin is like I love this shit. That's why I take so much care of it. All that, like it's the best. But like that definitely led to wanting to not be here.
I experienced that, Troy. I experienced that up to like so in my early 20s. And
Mm-hmm.
I just really started loving my complexion maybe like some years ago. I hated my complexion. I hate it. Like my friends was like light skinned and Hispanic. My family members was lighter than me. I mean, it was a couple my complexion, but most of them were lighter than me, and I hated myself. And I was like, I want to die. I used to really feel like this when I was a kid because colorism is a real thing. You know what I mean? People make you. The black community would make you. You know, eat. They would eat you up if you was dark back in the day. Like black boogie.
Oh yeah,
like
crunchy, charcoal.
You know,
African booty scratcher.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
Not African booty scratcher, bro.
You spirit checker.
Never heard eyes and teeth ass nigga.
Type of stuff. Like,
yep.
They would
I still get those jokes.
I feel like I got more harassed with my complexion in the black community than white people. Honestly, I feel like they just knew.
Well, okay. To be fair, racist white people don't care how dark you came off the boat. They just care that you came off the boat. That's the only reason that's a thing. But they won't care if you're darker or lighter.
Yes,
they
might do care.
No, they might. What I mean is that a nigga is a nigga to them, right?
Yeah. A nigga's a nigga, but they got different level niggas.
Well, I'm gonna say, yeah, it is known that all across the world, like darker skin is a little bit more frowned on. Like literally, one of my friends is Cuban, and he was saying like most of his family over in Cuba, like actively will not try to cohabitate for like decades with darker skinned people to keep their skin and their family lighter skin. So that's over there. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's
and she said the same thing. She said that her grandma used to always treat her bad because she was darker than her sister. Her sister's way lighter. It's just a thing that it's not even just. It's more. Of course, it was more actions done in the white community towards black community. I mean, to the black community or minority. But even our own people, like they treat. They
we the only people that say you pretty for a dark skinned girl.
Well, Troy, not big. How old are you? Are you over 25?
Oh yeah, baby, I'm 31.
Okay, I'm 31 too. So you are that age range where you experienced that then, because I'm 31 too. In our time growing up,
it still happens.
It did, but it really was like black was just coming around. Like we was just getting accepted about what 50 years ago or 60 years. Like when we
started being on MTV. That's what it was. We started getting added to the white channels. And it's like, okay.
They even shows it in the black movies. If you watch a lot of School of Days, they had the brown paper bag thing. If you weren't, and that was even in the AKAs, if you were not the color of the paper bag or lighter, you could not get in. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you are a sister. It's just not working. And it was like that in the black community.
Shout out to the people who made the paper bag. Y'all made a lot of money during racist times.
Motherfuckers.
You made more money. You were used for more measurement than rulers, yo.
It was a lot. So like in the black community, it really be like that. You know, bring your black ass over here. You know, why I just can't bring
why I can't bring my ass over here?
I won't lie. My grandfather was a little, I guess, colorist because he used to treat the light-skinned kids better than the dark-skinned kids, even though he was a dark-skinned man.
What were you? Were you considered light-skinned or dark-skinned?
I don't know what the fuck I was. I'm still
confused.
I'm about to say how he treats you. That lets you know.
He treated me better because I was lighter than my black ass.
There you go.
But then my sister was lighter than me, a little lighter than me. And my grandma was almost white. My grandma's pretty much the same complexion as a white woman. So
he said, "Hey, baby."
Yo, Ari, you know what's crazy? let's have some tea real quick before we end this. Before we get into it, right? So I just found out. So my great aunt died 3 weeks ago, right? And I'm like talking to my sister. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go support and make sure my grandma's okay because her sister died. And my sister, I don't know what she's going through right now. And she was like, well, the reason why our real grandfather wasn't there because our real grandfather slept with our great aunt. And our grandmother really hate her. And I was like, damn, you just stole my innocence. I wish you never told me that shit. I was all happy to go see the family. I didn't want to go to the funeral now.
Right.
But found out the bullshit.
All I have to say
always
is
some family bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, damn. That's what that remind me of a light-skinned woman. He really loved them, a light-skinned woman. But when it was too dark, people you wouldn't like the dark-skinned woman. It was really bad.
There's people like that. Yeah, my cousin, he light-skinned. He like, I would never ew. They remind me of roast beef.
I remember when I was younger, my first actual serious girlfriend was black, and my mom, who was white at the time, she straight up told me, she was like, I always thought you'd be with a white girl. And that was crazy to me because I wasn't racially aware until I was probably 19 or 20 working at a 7-Eleven where I like very clearly
All kind of
witnessed
motherfuckers.
racist white people. Like I worked in it's like a mainly Republican area, so all the like people come, and it was during election season. So there are white people coming in telling me that they were gonna send me home when Trump gets elected. I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you're from like the Middle East, right? I'm like, ho, I'm black.
Motherfucker.
I am blackity black with a couple drops of white in there. I am
Just
not
let you know
like,
you are.
bro. Believe me, I
You're
walked
at
into Dunkin'
7-Eleven,
Donuts at
bro.
11 years old. This man was like, where are you from? And I'm like, here, why? And he goes, no. What country is your family from? And I'm
I
like,
didn't see it
here,
until you said it.
why? This man said, oh, I thought you were from my India. I looked him dead in the face and I was so upset because I heard that all the time. I'm just like, are you Indian? And I'm like, nope, just black and white. That's
I mean,
it.
did you do a DNA test? Now you gotta see.
I
You
have
might
done an
have some
ancestry
there.
test.
Okay.
I am literally like North England and like Wales and Ireland, and then
Oh, shit.
like Cameroon, Congo, Senegal. Like when I say black, I mean black.
It's ain't no India in there.
No, not a drop. My
That's
mom
so
used to say
funny.
we were like Native American too, but that was like culturally speaking because my uncle
Yeah.
appreciated Native culture. We don't have a drop of like Native in us at all.
Interesting.
Well, back to the cultural thing though. We gotta stop the stigmatism of therapy.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I don't even think I gave a take on that. That shit is like way too common. If somebody breaks their leg and goes to the hospital, no one is like, do you really need a doctor? Do you really need that cast? Do you really need to splint your arm? For invisible illnesses and stuff, it's different. But like mental health is invisible. Like you can't see it. There's no tangible way to like deal with it physically.
Especially for black parents.
I mean,
Ooh,
I wouldn't even say like it's like if anything, I would say that black elders are like that because white elders were like that and worse. Like black parents who beat their kids, they did it because their grandparents beat them. Their grandparents like beat people because their grandparents were literally beat by slave masters.
A black kid and tell your mama or daddy you depressed for what? You eating right? You got a roof over your head, right? And it's like there's the whole like I've gotten that before. Like it's
all what we don't realize as black people is that
of,
it's cross cultural. All of that shit comes from white people treating black people.
But then they go to therapy, which is wild.
But a lot of them don't. There are, if you like, I think the highest suicidality rate of any group is middle-aged white men in their like late 30s up to like mid 40s. I think that's like one of the highest like suicide rate groups. And they typically tend to be the ones that are most drug addicted. They tend to be the ones who are getting divorced the most. And that's where like suicidality and mental health stigma is highest. Because they experience it from their grandparents who didn't value therapy. Again, my mom is white. I got lucky because my brother had mental health issues before I did. He's 8 years older than me. So she saw like, okay, being mean to like mentally ill children does not work. You have to like seek better alternatives. But there are a lot of white people even to this day who deal with that shit from their parents because their parents didn't believe ADHD was real. I was coming out of a Wawa the other day and I didn't hear the whole conversation, unfortunately, but it was like a middle-aged white dude walking out of the Wawa going, oh, they didn't have any of that ADHD back then, did they? It's like we didn't have the diagnostic criteria.
There wasn't a word for it, motherfucker.
Yeah, people still had autism. People still had OCD. People still had ADHD. We just didn't have the criteria to diagnose it yet. And people don't realize time is not like everything is not happening now. Time happens in A, B, C, D, E order. And they forget about the A, B, C, D, E, and they're just like F, fuck, like fuck all that. Like it's wild.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, and just to hop back on the take it out of the cultural part, but like just from my own experience in the black community, like it's a lot of black people that like I've come across in my life, and I'm like, because I think also we make it a joke, the short bus and are taking them class, shit like that. There are people who clearly, like, very obviously have, the mental deficiency, and it doesn't always come off as, because again, there's like, shit, I got ADHD, I can articulate myself, but not everybody can articulate themselves and still have, that still has it. So it's like you come across people who obviously could have benefited from some help younger, but the parents never did anything about it. Now they out in the world by themselves and they up doing shit about it, and it's just like, I don't know. Because because like I have a cousin, you know what I'm saying, and clearly like there's a mental thing there. Sometimes if you sit with him a little bit for a minute, it's like, okay, you know, and it's not to stigmatize him or anything like that, because that's my nigga. I'll talk to him anytime. But like, I have seen people actively ignore him or try not to carry a conversation with him and stuff like that. And so that's what it breeds for adults. Like, you have these adults who never got this help, going through this thing that they can't even fully understand or fathom, and they feel like they're trying to be normal, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying, to try and fit in, and it just fucking sucks.
It do. It does. But let's go to the last part. I'm gonna add this part since we did get a few more viewers, and I think this would be a good exit. So, all right, anybody here thinks they're a good friend? Y'all good friends or y'all shitty friends?
I'm fucking amazing. I've been a shitty friend before, but I think I'm a really good friend right now.
We're gonna go through a couple things on how to be a good friend to help mitigate the suicide risk. So first one is active listening. You know what that is, right?
Sometimes.
Yes, actively listening. It's right there, the word, actively listening. Listening not to respond, but listening to listen.
Actively here.
And then next one is encourage professional help. A lot of times somebody like, yo, bro, it's gonna work out. Don't worry about it. Nah. Go therapy, my guy.
But it's also how you say shit too. That's part of being a good friend, knowing how to talk to your friend.
Yeah.
Knowing like, if I say this, how are they gonna, like, some people, they touch you in general. It's always gonna be, no matter what the fuck you say to them. But like, if you really give a fuck and you know you gotta say some real shit to them, don't just be like, hey nigga, it's time for therapy. It's like, all right. So lately, you know, I've been noticing some stuff, bro. Oh, you need some help? You need to talk to somebody? I saw this site, like, you know, free therapy, you know, like something, like something, you know what I'm saying? There's a way, I think, to bring shit up like that with a friend. Our loved one in general.
Someone said it's right. The way you say things does matter.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think if you also be like, so a lot of times we all thinking right or wrong, or weak or strong, and we thinking these like what do you call it, opposites. Like I can't think of the word right now. It's just not it's not like a good way of thinking about it in my opinion. I think we should do like appropriate or inappropriate. Someone's talking to me like things. Some things are appropriate, some things are inappropriate for certain situations. And a lot of things we think, all right, if I gotta go to therapy, there's something wrong with me.
Right.
Yep.
For all you know, you just need mental maintenance. And that's how I look at it. Troy, let's say you make it, you're a big time podcaster, you're using a lot more of your mental strength. So you definitely need some mental maintenance. Even if things are going great, you should still go to therapy.
I mean, I am an advocate for it, but I do like my own like introspective work and stuff like that, journaling, a lot of spiritual work, and just, you know, things like that. But like, I am an advocate for therapy because not everybody can go through those things. Like I mentioned, you know, not everybody can do that themselves. Not everybody has that introspective. Some people need somebody to kind of guide that for them or help them kind of see those things and bring them out. So I definitely am an advocate for therapy, but also just as a good friend, sometimes you can be a therapist. That's to round that back out. That's part of being a good friend, I think.
I think that's a hard line to draw, only because like I don't think everybody, like, therapy will not work for everyone. It's just not the way that every single person is going to process stuff. But like, therapy typically comes with like, not only are you able to dump to someone who's going to sit and actively listen to you, record everything, they're also going to come up with like typically game plans for you to get through it and move forward in a way that's based on their professional experience, based on their education, and then based on like their prior clients and things they've had to witness as therapists. For me, like there's one friend who pretty consistently comes to me about like his relationship troubles, stuff like that. And I have to be like pretty hard on him because he has had a lot of other friends who are like yes men to him. Like he was going through a breakup and his like mindset for it is like, well, what did she do? What did she do? What did she do? And I had to like redirect the conversation, like, yo, shut up, look in the mirror for a second. And even if she did everything wrong, she cheated on you, she stole money from you, she like got pregnant and aborted the kid without your knowledge, not even like telling you, like, it doesn't matter if all of this happened. What can you learn, take from the experience, and then use to grow as a person? He didn't have this kind of like compass at all. For me, I can do that for people because it's something I enjoy doing. I like to logically think through things myself. I'm a very intellectual person where I won't necessarily come at it from like an emotional perspective within myself, but I'll think like, what are the steps to get through it? When someone comes to me and I can provide that, that feels good to me. But for a lot of people, if you're asking them to be like the shoulder to cry on, that'll be like their limit. That'll be like the furthest that they can go, because it's like, look, I don't know what you should do. I don't know the way out. I don't know what you have to do moving forward. I don't know how to make this better for you.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not the type like to give solutions. I'm not the right person to like to cry on. I will do my best to listen. We going out to eat or something. You know what I mean? I'm not the best at
I mean, that's good though. That's not at all a bad thing. Oh, can I please respond to this comment first?
Oh, let's say yeah. I was that friend once before, and I've had those friends before. So
yeah. So this is the thing about it. Those people don't really want advice.
Yeah.
They want to feel heard. They want to feel understood, and they want you to feel like you understand where they're coming from. They don't necessarily want to go through like all the like, okay, well, what do I need to do to fix it? For the most part, they would ask for that kind of thing. But a lot of people just need to get it out of their system.
That's true.
And then whether or not they do something about it, that's not your responsibility. Like, it might feel like it. It might feel like, am I a good friend if I just like let them cry it out, but don't tell them? No, you're not.
But no,
like,
a good friend, but that's not. I'm gonna say a good friend ain't gonna let you keep doing bullshit. So you're gonna say like, because I've had friends where I'm like, all right, it's only so much I'm gonna keep talking about this situation because I don't have nothing else to say.
Yeah, I would say a good friend wouldn't let you go through the bullshit. A better friend would recognize their role and not stopping it, but being someone that they can consistently come to. If a woman's in like an abusive relationship, she goes to her friends and they're like, look, you're still with him, don't talk to me. Is that a good friend because she keeps going back to the guy and they're tired of it? Like, no, because they're making it worse. They abandon her, they refuse to talk to her, refuse to listen to her. Now the only person that listens to her or talks to her is the person she's stuck with. So are they being good friends by cutting themselves off from that relationship? I would say fuck no.
Go
ahead.
No, I'm not going to answer. I'm not really saying anything to what Kendall just said. But replying back to what she said, I have been one of those friends, and I feel like we all have been at one point where it's like it could be in a relationship where that it's time to move on or it's time to go, and people, you just want to express yourself and you want to hear the advice, but you're not going to do anything because you're not ready. Sometimes people are just not ready for the change. But like Kendall said, they need to get it out. And it gets overwhelming. So you have to see if you are ready for that, because people will keep coming to you about the same old thing. I was one of those friends, keep crying about the same thing, but not making changes because I only just wanted to cry it out. I only just wanted to talk it out. But people will change at the right time, And it's good sometimes to be an active listener. And I fail at that because I always want to give some advice. I always want to give my 2 cents. I always want to help somebody see things differently and change. And it's like, I'm very aggressive to my friends, but very passionate. I'll cry, I'll weep with you, all of that. But I'm pushy. And sometimes I don't know my limits. It's like, all right, you got to fall back because I want to see you excel. I want to see you do better. I want to see you out this space. I don't want you to be suicidal or emotionally unstable. So I keep pushing. But I have been that friend who like, I'm telling you, but I ain't doing nothing about it. And there she go back at it again. And you get frustrated at those people because you love those people. But maybe just try, like, you know what, pray about it and just sit back and just let them speak.
Yeah. But I will let you know I don't have anything necessarily new to say. If I don't have nothing new to say, like, I think
what Jamar said is perfect. If somebody comes to you and they're like, "Yo, I'm in a depression. I don't know what the fuck to do about it," they consistently deal with that. Be the person to take them out for lunch. Be the person to go out to like dinner with them. Be like, "Yo, I'm gonna pick you up," and like every single hold that I've been in, there's been like maybe 2 people inconsistently who have been that person for me. But in those situations, it's been like the absolute best thing that I could have done was just go sit with somebody, eat some good food, and then have conversations, not about the problems and not even about what to do about the problems, but just about life, feeling like you're experiencing something with someone who cares about you. That by itself can pull people off the ledge. And I don't think enough people realize that. Like they'll be in the DMs or whatever. Let me know if you need anything. No, don't fucking say, let me know if you need
People
anything.
say it 'cause
Tell
it
me
sounds
what you
nice.
can do. Yeah, tell me what you are willing to do. Tell me what you can do.
Let's go to Applebee's.
I don't do the
Let's get
let me
some
know if you
dollar
need anything.
margaritas.
That's unironically, completely unironically, that is literally the best thing you can do for someone. Often.
Why you never did it for me then?
Girl, I ain't had a car in how long?
I'm just playing.
I don't even go outside right now. I am in my pickle.
I'm playing. I just wanted to reply back to what she wrote and thank you. And grace is very important, and people don't understand. Grace is like what you need to give, and some people are not built like that. I used to also when I talk to my friends, I would pour all this stuff on them and tell them what I was going through. And some, not all my friends, and there was one particular one, she couldn't take it, but she would be going through the same thing or worse, and when she poured on me, she expected me to be the way I expected her to be for me. And it's like some people can't handle your stuff. They only can handle their own stuff, and it seems to be selfish, but some people just literally can't. It's like, I can't take that, I can't deal with that, or they don't have a response. You sit there, pour your heart out, and you're like, hello, you still there, right? Oh yeah, I'm here. You all right? Bro, I just sat there and I just told you how I felt and you didn't say anything.
But if you did that 12, 15 times, 30 times, I love you.
You're like,
that's all I can say.
I won't lie, like I think on the phone is the worst way one of the worst ways you can communicate about bad feelings is because like you need to be out and you need to be in the moment with that person. It's so many distractions when you're on the phone. It's not a really good way to communicate.
I think that's also, that is a choice. If you're on the phone with somebody and you can't just be on the phone with them, you got to be doing this, you got to be doing that. Like if I'm on the phone with somebody, I typically I'll end up off of my computer and everything, just walking around.
That's the best way you can do it. Go for a walk on the phone.
Yeah, that's where I'll be. But if I'm like on the phone and like multitasking, I'll usually let them know like, hey, I'm listening, but like I'm not going to be like super engaged. So you can just vent. But I'll make that super clear. A lot of people are scared to like communicate that. Now same friend that I mentioned that I like try to like help out with a lot of his emotional stuff. He straight up told me that he thought it was some cuck shit to tell somebody that he no longer needed their assistance after requesting it and not getting a reply. I'm like, bro, you don't know what type of stuff like he's going through, what he's experiencing on his end. Just send him a message and be like, yo, I know I asked you for help last week. I'm just letting you know I'm good now. That's not like immature. It's not weak. It's the mature thing to do, to just say like, yo, look, I know I was waiting on a reply from you, but I'm just letting you know I no longer need the reply. And then that's weight off the chest right there.
Yep. I would appreciate that too. Like, I think especially guy to guy, we gotta start communicating. Yo, we are okay. We need some time. I think like respect privacy. For me, when I'm sad and when I'm down, I'm a very introverted man. I need my privacy. And so many people try to push into it or they take it personally why I'm not calling them if I'm like sad. Sometimes I just need my privacy to sort it through. I'm not the type of person that can go drink real quick and like, all right, I'm good. I got my mind off it. If the problem's still there when I get back, I'm gonna keep thinking about it until I get rid of the problem. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say, man, that just made me think about it. I think I brought it up though, but it always made me go back to it. Men don't necessarily know how to talk about shit, so it's just like the woman who was like trans and got her transition or whatever, and she's a man now, and she's like, I hate like guys don't talk about anything. It's so
oh my god, I saw that.
Yeah, she was like, I've been like sad. Men don't talk about anything, and I'm just like, yeah. But I think it just depends on like an environment too, because I have like a lot of straight friends and stuff like that, and they can hold fucking conversations. but I
Yeah,
have
you
been
have to
around
be
the
in
guys
healthy
who are
circles.
awful at
Are you saying
conversation.
straight men normally can't hold conversations?
I mean,
Not genuine, open, emotionally vulnerable conversations? Hell no. Not in
yeah,
a
there
million
you
worlds.
go. Thank you. Yes.
See, he was just doing it right there, avoidance. Jamar, he just was doing it. So you saying that straight man avoidance? That's what y'all do. A lot of avoidance, and it's like you
We
pulling
do.
teeth just to get something out of y'all. It's
We
like,
definitely do,
damn.
man. I think like
Why
it
am
goes
I
in.
begging you to express yourself to me?
Like,
It's
you need to get it
sometimes it's
out.
hard. Like, all right, it's good for you to be like, yo, can you please express yourself to me? Because at the end of the day, I was the type of guy I really believe no one gave a fuck. You're just doing a polite thing to be like, yo, how you feel? I'm feeling bad. Okay. I hope you feel better. You just asked me just to be polite, nigga. You did not give a fuck about me.
You can kind of tell.
Some
at
people
some
do
point.
think that, and some people really don't care. And there's a
Mhm.
lot of people who care. I'm one of those who really care, and people
Some
don't.
people just want to hear for gossip.
Again, I grew up
And
in
that's
like
too. That's another thing too.
I
Yeah.
grew up in like a household where like people, my family generally to this point, I don't even go to holidays. 90% of my family I do not see. If they see this podcast right now and they heard this, I hope they do. I know 90% of them don't. No, 90% of you don't care. With new success, you all want to talk to me and get all on my side and maybe get a little bit of the glow or wherever the fuck y'all want. I don't care. But like at the end of the day, like they ask you at these fake family functions, oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, just to say it.
Just have
Just
something
to
to talk
check the
about.
box.
I mean, I do want to be clear. If somebody like, if they even make that step, I appreciate that a lot more than the people who don't. But it also matters what they do with the information. If they take that information and then run to like, oh, did you hear he's only doing this for work now? He's still not at school, blah 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 blah. Like that's
Shit,
just
my
kind of
mom does that, yo. No offense to my
Well, that's why
mom.
you gotta pay
My
attention to
mom
who
will
you talk to.
literally don't do anything embarrassing to my mom within the next 2 minutes. The whole family knows.
I be seeing them memes. It was like when you tell your mom, it was a meme the other day. It was like when you tell your mom a secret, you tell her not to tell nobody. And then it was like NBC, ABC News outside of your mom's house. And mom was in front of the microphone, like this was all these news reporters. It was so funny.
Yo, it really
That's
be
so
like that.
real.
I'm like, yo, mom, you a hater. And then it'd be whistled down a lane, so the story gets more and more extreme. The more people that
And
they tell it
juicier.
to.
Right?
Oh man, what? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it go from. It was like this other one, and I had to laugh because it happened to me before. Like with you, like the moment you like maybe call yourself standing up to your mom or something like that, and they call everybody like act like you just whooped her ass or some shit. This motherfucker, I can't believe it. They called 15 people, losing their breath, can't breathe and shit. And all you said was like no or something.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's so true.
Damn. But let's go to this one too. I think this was one of the most underrated good advices that I started doing some of these. So encourage healthy habits. A lot of us, especially Troy, encourages sex and drugs.
Oh shit!
that's a really bad interpretation of what he was saying. I think that's a really bad interpretation.
Damn, I'm like, wow, fuck.
It's
Okay.
true.
I think if anything he was saying, if you like if that's like on your horizon,
No, he said
go
you
through it.
go ahead and do it. Everybody need to experience. We supposed to say we did it. You know, we've been there, done that. Do something different. So it's like
Live
make
your
sure
life a
you
little
judge
bit.
y'all.
So,
You know what they say?
Y'all gotta stop this madness.
No,
Put some respect on my boy.
don't try this at home. That was Jamar not saying. He said try this at home. That was him.
Yeah.
Corey was. Make sure you do this before you get clean.
All right, encourage physical activities. So Troy, you might be right with the sex part. Healthy
are you
eating
like dancing?
and adequate
Working
sleep,
out.
yeah, and then which it can improve mental health. I think physical activities. So I was heated. Like last 3 weeks, I was very heated. I was in a very bad spot mentally, and I did some physical labor. And listen, I felt great afterward.
By physical labor.
Not what you're thinking, man. But
Well, no, I mean, I just picture like fucking carrying around boxes and shit at Amazon. I'm just like, damn, that made you
actually
feel
was
good.
what it
I mean,
was.
like,
I
I
did
feel it, you
that.
know.
So I stepped away from my desk and I literally just helped clear out a
Oh,
bunch of boxes, and it helped me
happy
like
birthday,
get my
HR.
mind back because I was just outraged.
That makes sense.
I was
Okay.
pissed. But
Are you
also like
still calm,
working
like,
out
you're
really
angry?
helps. Like my most healthiest
I need to know.
I've been is when I was like depressed
just saying,
or
like,
angry. Just using all that
I'm fucking
negative
nuts.
energy to go to the gym.
When I get angry.
So Jamar, when you're
Okay.
angry, are you really like calm tempered like you are? Like when you're talking on here, like, yeah, I'm angry. Like, can people tell you're angry or they can't?
No, it's a complete switch. It's like I go from a cool breeze to like a fucking hurricane.
That's me sometimes.
And you're like, this guy is gonna kill us all.
You don't know I'm angry until it's too late. That's
Yes.
my stance. You don't know I'm angry until it's too late.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like-
Exactly. Well, I'll say for me, my physical thing was yoga and dancing. I recently started getting into working out like the past few years, but like yoga, I've danced all my whole life because I come from dancing family and shit. So we always dance. But
What
then,
kind of
like,
dances you be
gotta do
doing?
yoga.
I don't know. That's a little
Just
sus.
dance in general, mostly like hip hop. But you know, like I can.
Wait. I need you to qualify
ballroom,
that. Why did you
can-
just say that dance is sus? Please tell me.
I hate
Jamar,
it.
No.
I heard that. No, guys.
I mean,
stop.
I'm gay, so I don't give a
No,
fuck.
y'all need to hold him to this question. Why is dancing sus? Go ahead.
I don't like
I
dancing.
need it.
Because a man
Ryan,
should
not
be,
you.
a straight man should be working, not dancing.
Oh, well, there you go. You answered your own
Okay,
question.
what was the first thing that slaves did when they
Damn.
were free? Somebody tell me the very first thing that African American slaves did when they were notified that they were free.
They was bored. They had nothing else to do. They had no choice to dance.
Twerking?
Guys, that's the point.
Free.
That's the
We
point.
free.
The reason you dance is to express yourself.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
man said, if you want to express yourself, work your job more. This is the problem.
See,
This
the
is the
1950s?
problem.
God damn.
Holy shit.
Oh,
You know,
shit.
all
hate
some
to
real
see
stuff.
it.
You thought I was
That
stripper
happened today.
dancing or something?
Some guy was trying to express himself and how he felt, and the guy was like, well, why aren't you working? Don't bring your problems to work. Having a whole mental meltdown. Family, I'm not gonna say family, which family member left and ran away from the household. He's having a whole life issue. And the guy's like, well, don't bring your work into work, don't bring your stress into work or whatever.
God damn.
Pretty much said, shut up and go pack a box.
Yo.
I think that's like one of the biggest problems
I was
too.
like,
Like,
I
even your
packages.
employers will be like, make sure you separate the personal from the professional. And it's like, yeah, I will. I'm gonna compartmentalize it. But when one of those boxes pours over into the other, I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or watch my fists are gonna be mixed up in your face.
Well, that's just assault.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's
maybe-
not really. If it happened, I'd be like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. My hand just took over itself.
Right.
Something happened.
Look, it said right. Damn, they're nice at my facility. Oh yeah. I know why they're nice at your facility, Shayana. I know exactly which Amazon you're at. I even know the complete evil backstory of your Amazon. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that in private.
I'm gonna stop you right there myself.
I was like,
I know exactly what happened to
Right
her
there.
whole building from the ground up. I know everything that happened.
oh my gosh. Okay. She about to say what happened next. She about to put all these question marks. Like ears. Whole bunch of
But
ears.
it's like, dude, when you go in HR, like for corporates, like big corporations, you know so much. I even know, I even like my friend.
Please
I'm
be
hanging up.
careful.
I know Shayana. I know where I know where she works at. I know what her labor is. I know how she's doing her job for each day. I can search all
Okay.
this stuff. I even
Yeah,
know
there's
that
a
our
discount.
friend. I even know Shayana's friend that she probably hasn't talked to in a while.
Dang,
The
Don't do
Spanish
this.
friend. She's actually an area manager at the job she's at.
She about to sign out right now.
I
I
know
would say
so much.
this is
I know
really
so much
weird.
stuff.
Spill the tea.
I want to tell you in person. We're gonna go to Applebee's and get these $1 margaritas. We will talk.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm getting out. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Dude,
okay.
a whole informant.
I mean, yeah, that was.
He was just ratting. Why she
Dude,
put
man.
Naya was like, "Oh, I don't want to tell y'all where I'm working right now," and then he's just like, "She works at Amazon. She works in store number 367."
Oh shit!
They are what?
Yeah, I can always look up now where you work at.
Yeah, but just don't talk about it.
Okay. Oh shit!
Just you can just put it in our group chat if you want to talk about where I work.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's
secret
just
agent
funny
man right now.
because like HR people know HR people, and no one understands this.
It's true.
Yeah,
Y'all probably got
your
secret.
We have a
Under-
secret
party.
HR like network we don't talk about.
They probably got like
Literally stop right now.
Oh my
Try, I know
God.
what you did at work.
Oh my god. I'll do some bullshit.
Right.
Permanent.
He in manufacturing. He talking to a medical person. Like, I know what you did at that hospital. Like, what? Like, wait, are you? I thought you was in hardware. And he don't know all this like medical stuff. That's probably funny.
But not the tangent so far. But I know for sure being in the Marine Corps. So remember they said you guys had a permanent record, and then someone told you that was a lie. It's not a lie.
I thought that was true. No one
You
told
do
me
have
that.
you all have a record until you finish high school that goes into like a government record. But if you go to Marines, they can actually get that government record and they'll know about your whole childhood.
Damn.
Especially for like high level security clearances, they got to know about your whole childhood.
They're gonna still put you on. Anyway, I don't know why they want to know.
Well, no, even when I was actually in the pool for the Marines until I got medically disqualified. I remember like the process of getting like through the clearances and stuff. You had to have like your past few addresses. You needed references that you've known for at least 10 years. You needed at least 3 of them. Like you needed a lot just on the surface, let alone what they wanted in the back end of things.
Yeah, and they'll research your parents. And if your parents have done any crimes, you can't get certain security clearances. If your parents did any crimes, if your parents' siblings did any crimes.
So like you got a diamond smuggler in your family, motherfucker. You can't get the green access.
Actually, then I couldn't get certain things. I really just gave my dad name, to be honest. I shouldn't have just did that. I shouldn't have said that because my dad got
literally stop. I feel like you are saying awful things.
I just want to say right now. I'm about to end there. So thank you guys for coming and watching. And
I appreciate everybody. Thank you for my informant. Next episode is going to be Jamar tells everyone's business.
Oh wow!
Next episode. I hope you're here. Ain't nobody seen this shit.
Exactly. He's still alive.
It's like, no,
nothing. I'm muting myself.
Feel free.
No, if you hear me going, it wasn't suicide, guys. I got they put me on ice. But I think last thing we can say is this, right? Offer support, but don't offer solutions. A lot of times people be like, yo, this is wrong with me. Do this.
I'll say offer both. It's a balance. I'm like,
right.
Some people just want to talk. Right. I mean, some people do just want to talk, but sometimes some people do want help. So offer both. Like, you know what I'm saying? Have that conversation and give like it's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? But then, at some point, learn that balance of it's going to be good to, okay, so what we doing next? Did you, if you got a friend that like does artistic shit, encourage them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or a friend, not even just out that, like somebody who might want to travel or something like, hey, you've been saving up, have you been able, just like encourage things about them that they want to do and like, and that's part of like the steps. Like,
yeah. Do you guys know the golden rule?
What is it?
Treat people.
I want to say, yeah. Have you ever heard of the platinum rule?
Treat people how they want to be treated.
Yeah, treat people how they want to be treated, not how like you would want to be treated. So it depends who you're talking to. If somebody comes to you and they're like, "Yo, look, I'm in my bag right now," don't sit there trying to fucking give them a whole prognosis for the future. Yeah, but if somebody is like, "What am I supposed to do right now?" They might not even want the support. They might want you to hit them over the head with a game plan. You just adjust to who you're talking to.
I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, because like I wouldn't want you to treat me how you treat you if you treat yourself horrible too.
Yeah, like treat me, treat you how I want to be treated. Shit, I got a list.
see.
Like, wait a minute.
Wait.
Um,
No, yeah.
but with that, that's a good ending. But anything y'all want to say to the crowd?
Journal. Do more journaling. Everybody get a notebook. You don't have to write in it every fucking day. Just whenever you have a second to yourself, write something down. Sometimes it might take 10, 15 years to fill up a notebook because you're probably only writing in it once or twice a week. That's okay. You can write 2 lines in the motherfucker. The point is to express yourself. And at some point you can it helps track patterns and how you think and stuff like that. Like being able to go back and look at some of those things. So journal if you can. You totally fucking should. That's it. Oh, and I mean, are we saying like our last little like
I thought that
follow
was
type shit
good.
too? Because
I'm Troy.
oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was gonna say like, are we doing like our last like introduction or not introduction, but like follow shit
Closing
too?
statements.
Yeah, closing statements.
All right. So yeah, also love journal and man of horror, like scary movie, like not horror like horrors.
Even though
And
Troy,
Trick or
after
Troy
the
D.
thing, we think maybe
Instagram.
one, but
In the past, not anymore. I've grown. I've grown.
Look, I'm no longer a drug using slut boy.
Is that a fan in front of you or your microphone?
This is Mike.
Oh, it's my microphone.
Snowball.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's the same brand as mine.
Really? Why does it look like a fan though from the back? I thought you were like.
I can totally see that.
I literally thought when you said I was doing skincare, I'm like, his man been sitting in front of the fan this entire time. I thought your ear, whatever. Okay. Okay. So
you can go ahead, Naya.
Okay, so I definitely agree with Troy. You definitely should journal. If you are connected in any type of way, like if you have a relationship with God, definitely go to God, pray about whatever you're going through. Take it to God. If no one's listening, trust me, God is always listening. So that's something I would say because you will get in spaces where some people can't answer the phone at 3 a.m. Some people won't text you back. Some people you can't. Things are closed. You don't want to call suicide hotline because you don't want to get turned in. So go to your knees, pray to God. He's going to answer you, and just sit there and wait and be patient. That's the best thing I can give you. Patience.
Sometimes you got to deal by yourself.
And my name is Naya. Naya_Rose. ROZZAYY on Instagram. Boom.
Hey.
So for me, I think it's pretty simple, right? If you feel like you don't know like your purpose in life, for me, the purpose in life is to find your purpose in life. That doesn't mean like, oh, well, I don't know what the hell I'm doing right now. Nobody knows. Doesn't matter if they're a billionaire running Twitter into the ground or if they're a homeless guy banging trash cans to like entertain people. No one has any idea what they're doing. And the entire reason that you're here, myself as a non-religious person, is to figure out why you're here. And that applies to everyone. What are you supposed to do with the brief life that you've been given? What choices are you going to make? And then when you die, what is the kind of person that you will be remembered as? Those are the most important things. And if you're not happy with the person you would be like remembered as right now, if you died tomorrow, then you just owe it to yourself and the world itself to do better. That's really like my take on all that. Anyway, y'all can follow me on Instagram at AfroMortis. That's AFROMORTIS. Follow me on twitch.tv/AfroMortis. And you can follow both Naya and myself over on our podcast, As the Culture Turns, where we drop culture conversations every Thursday, and we'll be expanding the show soon too.
Woo-woo. Well, with that being said, guys, my last thing is do your best.
No, we don't need to go to work.
Literally go to fucking pick up some boxes right now.
Nah, but honestly, you only win YOLO. You only live one life. Take advantage of it. Live like it's your only life. Because many of us are just making choices like we have a million lives. But if you lived every day like it was going to be that only one day, you'll probably do a lot more in your life. And so much can change in a day if you add as much value to the day. And even if you can do one thing a day that makes you happy, that was my resolution last year or this year, and it has changed my life. And just creating good memories, create a lot of good first memories, I think that's a big thing as well. Don't be an informant like Jamar. And also thank you for watching the Meeting Ghetto channel, the Meeting Ghetto podcast. This podcast live the name may change. I don't know how the hell I got like 4 podcasts like Troy at this point. I'm just producing.
In conclusion, YOLO
Hey, talk
and
to me.
living like Larry.
All right, guys. Peace out. Boy Scout,
Hey,
Girl Scout, Thumb Scout. Bye.
What the fuck is a thumb scout?